Hello, my name is Mel, but you might also know me as Z, like the letter Z. And welcome to Toon Boom's ATE event 2022. It's an animation event, as you might know, and it's great. And today we have a very cool guest. I have Renee Rivers here, live from Puerto Rico, to tell us more about him and animation and how to make great animation as being like, a generalist artist. Because the good thing with Renee is that he's great as hand-drawn, he's great as making like small rig and small animation, so pretty versatile all over the place. So yeah, hi Renee, how about you introduce yourself
Hello.
to us? Yay.
Uh, Hello, it's me, Renee. So, I'm Renee. I am based in Puerto Rico. I do 2D and 3D art animation for the most part. Um, yeah, I like to do a little bit of everything. I've been honored to be able to direct, to be a lead animator, to do a little bit of everything. So, as much as I enjoy wearing hats, I do literally have many hats in the industry and in my house.
Oh wow, what a nice fun. You even have what Emmy sitting on your desk. That's kind of a big deal. That's kind of cool.
Mhm.
Um,
uh,
and a very important question: do you have a favorite cartoon or a favorite bunch of cartoons?
hmm. Okay, I would say I would go with from earliest to like current one. As a person that was born in the mid '90s, I was able to enjoy, like the best of both worlds. I got to enjoy the legacy content from back in the day, and then I got to enjoy, the very like modern and I mean, it's not modern anymore; it's retro now, but it's it's basically like that like
We're
batch of
old.
cartoons that very old. Um, that batch of cartoons that helped a whole generation to get inspired, like Dexter's, the Powerpuff Girls. I grew up
Yeah.
with Disney, UPA, obviously Pokemon. I mean, everybody grew up with Pokemon, like it or not.
All right. So you
Um,
like many different things. That's cool. That's
yeah.
cool. And can you share one very amazing positive event that occurred to you this year?
Ooh, I have a couple.
Oh my
Um,
god.
the first one was be able to like get my Emmy, my second Emmy that I won for a pilot show that I worked on.
Second,
Um,
Amy, nonetheless.
hmm Like the first one was back in 2019, and this one was in 2021.
Good job.
Um, so happy about it because the first one that I did was for a pilot, for a 3D pilot called Phantom Bill, and we won it on the Suncoast Regional Emmys in Florida. And this one, I got it for Slimies in 2021, and it was for a 2D pilot made in Harmony, which was
Yeah.
really cool because it was something that I tried to like propose for a while, and I was so happy that they said yes, and I was able to
It's the
lead
it's
and
the
direct.
it's the
Mm-hmm.
pilot that made you fall in love with harmony. You did so many
Mm-hmm.
things in that.
I
That's
did
cool.
everything, even compositing.
That's true. Um, yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing. And um, yeah. Okay. Tell us about what you do. Can you tell us more about your personal art style and how you got there, and any like specific reasons or inspiration behind it? Maybe it's like it's easier to do technically, or some shows really inspired you. Yeah. So tell us about your style. What you're doing right now. Woo!
Yeah, I would say most of my style comes from, believe it or not, like a lot of video game. Like I do like a lot of Mario, Kirby. So I like simplistic, appealing, and cute stuff. So I try to like have that essence with my characters. Like they're like you see them and you're like, huh, I kind of want to draw them. So it's like that. Like I try to always keep them simple, so I'm able to like like share with people, and people can do a lot of fan art and share them around.
That's a very nice point. Yeah, simplicity is often key. in animation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which is a good point, especially if maybe students or young folks are listening. Because I see sometimes um, portfolio for students who want to get into character design, and like a lot of, if not all of the designs, sometimes they're very, very, very complex. And I look at it, I'm like, you know how to draw, but I have no envy whatsoever to animate these characters. Oh my god! So I always try to think of
Yeah.
how people animate them and if they would be fun. Oh, your animation is looking so cool. Yeah, that is a fair
Thank
point.
you.
I mean, unless if you're applying for a
Yeah.
complex show like He-Man or like Castlevania or Avatar, where they need complex character.
It's
If
yeah,
but yeah, be versatile.
exactly. I mean, it depends on the art direction.
hmm
Yeah, exactly.
um, um, and I know you mentioned Slimies and that 3D ghost show, but is
Yes.
there any cool things that you worked on lately that you can mention that you're proud of? Maybe not just contracts, maybe
Oh,
like personal stuff or freelance. Yeah, what are the latest cool project you've worked on?
well, one of the projects that I'm really excited about that I'm working, it's a little YouTube channel. I think they have like 100, just like 100 subscribers. They are called Game Grumps, and
Yeah, 100,000 subscriber, maybe million subscribers.
I love these dudes. They not only they give you the option to create animated content for them. They're just like giving back to the industry because most of the key people that worked on Grumps were animators at first. So
That's true.
I'm really grateful that they are opening for other people to like start their careers, or like for example, in my case, I do it like for fun because it's been like a long dream.
Yeah, so
So
you
yeah,
do some freelance contracts for Game Grumps animated. That's really cool.
mhm. Yeah, and the best part is that I get to collab with a really good friend.
That's me.
Yeah.
um, oh, that's really cool. It's nice to be able to have these freelance contracts on the side on top of our studio work. I guess it gets the creative juice
Oh
flowing.
yeah, definitely.
But which leads us exactly to the next question. This is so great. Um, when we work at a studio, sometimes we are allowed to take a bit more time and stuff because it's a longer project, bigger team. But when we produce stuff for freelance and sometimes smaller gigs, not gonna lie, for freelance, oftentimes I need to cut corners because budgets are
Mhm.
smaller, turnarounds are faster. So I know that you are very great at producing beautiful and fast animation. Do you have any tips on efficiency and how to cut corner while keeping it pretty? Because I know you're very good at harmony for that.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that I do is in the storyboard, maybe storyboard and scripting phase. I
mm-hmm.
tend to like make sure that there is like divide the money shots and the normal shots. I would say
Oh, that's
the money
smart
shots.
move.
The money shots are the ones that you like go
All
insane.
in.
Like yeah, exactly. Like the ones that you're gonna be like people are gonna gasp of amazement because you don't have to make them all of them like that. You have to be resourceful and you have to work smart. So I think that's one of my tips. The other thing is like like we mentioned earlier, simplicity. The simpler the style, the more like it's like knowing the genre and knowing what you're gonna do. Because for example, and this is like a I think one of the common examples. There's a movie, I think it was called Eight Crazy Nights, and it's a comedy movie, but it's animated in a Disney-esque like style from the 90s. It's so well animated, but it's a comedy film. Like I think comedy can be more snappy and can be like more easier to digest that way.
That is
Um
true. To get somebody scared or sad, usually you need way more time to set it up.
exactly.
For the comedy.
So yeah, timing, style, art direction, they all like are connected in a way. So for example, comedy can be more snappy and it'll work effectively, while if you're gonna show meaning then or feelings, like something emotional, then it goes slower and it can be a little bit more like time consuming. So you gotta, yeah, right when you're writing something or you're boarding something, you gotta like know call your shots and be like, okay, that's a money shot, that's a normal shot.
And in
So
the
I think
same
that's
vibe,
how I
all
would approach
these,
it.
yeah, and all these tips, we apply them to our freelance because we're grown-ups. But this is something
Yep.
students can also apply when they do projects, like school projects. Um, I mean, take it from us. We've been through school.
Hmm.
um, and oftentimes what I see when yeah, we both went through school, but we also taught at schools. And a lot of times students are very, very ambitious, which is great. But as a student, always remember to um, kind of find where your priorities are. So you cannot give 500% to all your classes. And if,
Yeah.
well, sometimes you can, but oftentimes it's going to be at the expense of your health.
Uh huh.
So yeah, learn to prioritize your scenes, but also your work. Like maybe you want to give more time to a class compared to another one and stuff. So yeah, learn to prioritize different things is a good skill to try and learn even um
Hmm.
in school. Very, very good moral
Yeah,
lesson.
very early, the better.
Hmm. Ah, that's very interesting, and I love the what you shared for the like comedy is often very, very snappy and easy to make in a short period of time. And I think that also applies a lot for student short film. In some school, your short film has to be 30 seconds. You know, it's very hard to make someone cry in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Um, Unless you take a very, very popular trope like um things that are very, very sad, and that people know, like losing a close, like losing a pet, or things that are very, very sad, such as like being sick and stuff. Sometimes if you're trying to make people sad for your robot character falling in a cliff, maybe the people watching the short will not have enough time to get attached to the robot or something.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
yeah, it's often if you see you're struggling, it's often very easy and very great to try and find some maybe easier tropes and themes to work with. I never thought of that,
Hmm.
but that's actually pretty smart. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, thank you for bringing more because it's great.
Yeah.
It's great to talk about this.
um okay, and now instead of talking more about the digital, like technical stuff, I'm curious about some more practical stuff. So, is there a specific way that you hold your stylus when you work? And, or does it depend on the job and the style you're going with? Because that's something I discovered this year, that there is a big difference between how I work depending on how I hold my stylus or my pencil. So yeah, I'm always curious now. I ask that to everyone.
Does holding a mouse count? Okay,
Um,
I'm gonna draw it. I'm gonna draw my hand. The way I grip my hand, it's really different to when many people like do it. Like I've seen people. Let me see if I can draw it. Yeah, I've seen people like grab it like this. Yeah, I've seen people like grab it like this for the most part.
uh-huh.
But the way I grab it is like I'm drawing it as we speak.
Do you hold it
Um,
like a toddler holding a fork?
I'm not sure how
I
that
forgot who
how
told me
that.
they were holding it like that. I always thought it was funny. Okay, no, it's
It's
not you.
like it's like here's my stylus and here's my it's like index finger and it's like pushing it. It's like a hug and then I have my
Oh,
middle finger around here.
I see. You're one of the people who hold it with the thumb. That's interesting.
Yeah, and then I have my other fingers around here. So it's like something like that.
Ah, that's so interesting. Huh. I just tried
It's
it.
like
It
a
draws
strong
pretty
grip.
circles. That's why your style is so round and cute. Yeah, this
Mhm.
goes so well to draw circles. I have to. I am. Yeah, I'm stealing that now. The secret art form of
um,
holding the pencil like Renee.
and I do
Unlocked.
it and like the I'm really like I normally draw really close to the tip of the pencil. So like I don't put it on the middle or really up. It's like really close.
Ah, that's so interesting. I've never held my stylus like that. Huh. Thank you for
It's
sharing.
comfy.
Very nice. And
Strong grip. Mhm.
And okay, okay, okay. Now let's talk about harmony.
Ooh.
Yes. What are some key features in harmony that help you successfully animate? And when I say feature, it's not like a node. It's really like a like a feature, like something in there that really helps you. If you
Okay.
cannot make up your mind, maybe go for three things that really help you out from the software.
Okay. Um, for features, I would go like the main one is the drawing engine. Like drawing in
Yes.
Harmony is the best thing ever. Like I think ever since I got Anime Pro 2 back in the day, back in 2015,
Oh boy.
yeah, very old. The way it would draw, it was like one of my favorite things ever because I would like used to I was used to other programs, but when I got into Harmony, everything clicked, and it was because of the drawing engine. Like now, years later, the Harmony came, and it's like getting better each rendition of it. Like it's super stable. It's so good. I would say the second feature is the stableness in the program.
Uh
Like
huh.
it makes me so happy and so like I feel so safe drawing on it because or animating on it, working because I know that with the autosave feature and everything, Harmony's super duper stable. Um,
But as stable as the software is,
mhm.
Renee and I will never stop advising people increment your saves, do a
Yep,
save as every once in a while because if it's not harmony, you never know when your computer maybe might die on you and stuff. So always try to
exactly,
increment your save. If you've been working for 3 months on the same shot and you're still at version one, you might want to have
Mhm.
version two or three, right? Because you never know what's gonna happen. So always increment your saves, people. It saves your life.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Always safe. That's like like house rules, I would say. But yeah, like super duper stable makes me so happy to use it. Like at one point, I illustrate in Harmony. Like I used to use other programs, but at this point, it makes me like it's so comfortable drawing on Harmony that I even use it for my illustration work. So let's see. Third feature, I would say the rigging and compositing tools are really nice. And they're like very seamless to learn. I would say they're very like you're able to like understand everything. And one of the things that I really appreciate about Harmony is, for example, if I want to scroll to the brush, it'll give you a description of what you're gonna do. It's like create lines or areas like a paintbrush, and this is like amazing for education purposes because if somebody is like, oh, what does this tool
Yes,
do,
the blue
right?
box. That's how I taught
Mm-hmm.
myself how to use the software. People are like, "Oh wow, how do you know all these icons?" I'm like, because the blue box.
Exactly. And the amazing thing is that sometimes they give you the shortcut, which is really useful. It's amazing. Like that's one of my
Yeah.
favorite features that Harmony has because it makes it easier to learn. Like for example, if I'm teaching somebody how to use it, I'm like, okay, hover to that part. Let's read it together. So yeah, it's oh my god, it's so good. Like and I'm not mentioning the node view, but yeah, I love
Yeah, we'll get there.
yeah.
Okay, okay, okay.
No.
So speaking of nodes, what are your top three or five? I'm being generous. Favorite nodes in Harmony.
Okay, I like the turbulence node, the cutter node, and this might be a little bit underrated, but you see this one over here?
The right node?
Yeah, I like it because that's when I know that I'm gonna render something.
Oh my god. All right. I'll have to show you a couple new nodes, right? Because like we've had many new nodes lately.
Hmm.
Like the
I mean,
shine node. Shine node is pretty cool.
oh, the glow one, the glow one that I worked on the Grums one based on
Yeah.
your like little experiment that was really fun to use because with all the dials and stuff like that, the turbulence node I've used it a couple times for line boiling.
Oh, you're
Um,
right. Yeah, that's
mhm.
cool.
It's like compositing Harmony. Like I wouldn't bother compositing in After Effects because it can be a little bit jarring. But when I get to composite on Harmony, I get excited because I get to learn something, and it's like it's like a little puzzle. It's like playing Tetris or Panel de Pon. It's so
It's
fun.
so automatic, and there's
Mm-hmm.
so many things to do with it, like to create your effects and all that. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like when you put a glow and you use an applied pick transformation. That's just so great because you can glow. I mean, a highlight in an applied pick transformation. It's so
Yeah.
great and light and fun. Um. Oh yeah, and I know you directed some great animation work, and you guide a lot of people in your different pilots and series that you like helped with. Um, and you're a great communicator all around. So, do you have some tips on how to handle people and how to give them retakes and feedback? Because a lot of the time, as artists, we know how to draw, and some people that really know how to draw, then they get put into position of handling people. But knowing how to draw, and knowing how to handle people, these are two different things. But sometimes
Yeah.
people that are amazing at drawing gets put into position that they have to handle people, and it stresses them. So,
Mm.
do you have some advice on how to handle people and maintain a team and moral and all that? Um, yeah. Oh, your
That.
animation is looking great, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I'm having so much fun. Whee! Um. Okay. So for handling people in the pipeline in in the industry, I
Yeah.
think the first thing that you need to like have in mind is to like at least know the basic general things of that person. You can like sit down with that person, talk with them, ask them how they're doing. Sometimes they might get a little bit shy at first, but once you establish a connection, um and you don't have to be friends, you can be acquaintances, you can be just like coworkers and stuff like that, but as long as you like sit down with that person and let them be clear, be clear of what you want to do, and be just like um how do I say the word, gentle, because sometimes they might be having bad time in other parts, and sometimes they just need to let it out, and you're gonna be there for them, right? You're
That's a
gonna be
great advice
like
because sometimes you're going to have an animator that
mm-hmm.
let's say you have an artist in your team that usually works amazing, and lately like their scenes are a bit less amazing.
Yeah.
Sometimes before barging in, be like, hey, your animation is ugly, like you can be like, hey, how are you, like
Uh-huh.
how is it lately? And you're right, sometimes outside of work can affect how you work. Very important.
Exactly. It's something that I learned in college. Like I remember when I was in college, I was really shy. I'm still am really shy from time to time. I was super duper shy, and I remember it was Spanish class in college, and they were like, "Okay, we're gonna do a team project,
You
and
were shy,
everybody
but it's
must."
also getting better and better, and we're going to talk about that
Mm-hmm.
later.
Yeah, like the teacher was like, "Everybody needs to get a team leader," and something that clicked on me in that class was that everybody shut down. Like it was insane, and I was like, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna shut myself out as well. So I picked up my team. I was like, okay, guys, let's do this. You do this, you do that. And I think that was my moment that it clicked on me that I like to take care of people when it comes to leading stuff. So sometimes you need to be very like direct. You gotta, and in Spanish terms, you have to like um you gotta eat down the material and then feed it to everybody. So everybody's able to be on the same page, because sometimes they'll might miss the memo
Like a
or
papa
something.
bird.
Exactly, the papa bird. So you have to like be very caring and be very like gentle with them, because yeah, they're gonna be working with you for 2, 3, 4, or 5 years. You gotta be like you gotta be gentle, you gotta be attentive, you gotta be intuitive. Like make sure that if somebody's like struggling a little bit, sit down with them, maybe help them. I remember a couple occasions that I was able to sit down and I would see them like struggle in a part, and I'm like, you can do this and that, and they did it immediately, and they're like, oh, I didn't thought of that. So be like proactive with everybody in your team if the time lets you do it. Because sometimes you get
Oh, that's
busy.
such a good point too, because sometimes you're gonna help out your artist, but sometimes your artists are also gonna be the one who helps you out.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way, oh man, yeah, oh you're right. I think yeah, we talked about that before. Like sometimes you're gonna handle your artist and you ask them something, and if they don't know, like you want them to tell you that they don't know instead of just hiding it from you.
Yep.
But I think that's so important, even as a supervisor or somebody leading a project. It's okay if you don't know the answer to something. That's why you have a team. You can just work
Mm-hmm.
together to try and find an answer. So yeah, like you said, it's all about being gentle and honest. And if your employee asks you like, hey, how do I draw this, if you don't know, try to work it out together. That's a good
Exactly.
point.
Mm-hmm. Teamwork, baby.
Yeah. And if you have to give like a retake or feedback really to someone, do you have like a process for that?
Well, normally we use Sync Sketch, but if we don't have Sync Sketch around, I'll ask them for maybe a MP4 and MOB file or the animation file, and I'll just redraw it. Normally, I try to use friendlier colors instead of red, so it's not like very imposing. So I'm like, okay, you can do this and that, and I
Yeah, I
do
use
redraw.
science for it to be less intimidating.
Uh huh. Yeah, because red is like bad. But
Oh,
yeah,
and
no.
I
Mhm.
don't know if maybe you can show it on the stream, but if you go to the X sheet, there's a very cool
It's
thing also we
cute.
can use for to give like feedback is if you go to the add a new column button, right at it,
Mm,
up left. Yeah, it keeps changing places. Yeah, there, two to the right.
no,
Yeah, this one.
no.
If you
Okay.
go to the type and you select annotation, it allows you to write into your X sheet. It's really cool. I
Hmm.
use it to supervise my teams. You press OK, and then you can draw in that new column. Wow!
Hello.
So yeah, it's a great tool to give annotations, and which makes the
You
X
know,
sheet even more useful because everybody says that it's old and useless now, but it's not. It's amazing. I love the X sheet.
now that I see this, I kind of want to use it for um lip syncing. Like we can do the
Yeah, I mean, in
like,
this route, it was used a lot for lip sync. Not gonna lie, that's how I learned it at first when I was doing
oh,
paper
that's
animation. But in this digital age, sometimes it's used also for retakes. But lip sync is totally a good thing to use it for, or planning.
mhm.
It's
I love
phenomenal.
it. Yeah.
Glad you like it. Yeah, we
I'm
all got
liking this
something
little
new.
thing. Yeah. I'm drawing now.
um, and you, and yeah, in kind of in the same way of like the feedback and retake is how to handle people. You do a lot of personal side projects and contracts, like we talked before with Game Grumps. And when we do those, we often need to, you know, market ourselves. Let's be honest. Like we need to put ourselves out
Hmm.
there and communicate with people. And you can be an amazing artist, but sometimes if you don't communicate with anyone, well, it's a bit hard for people first notice you and also to just work with you. And
Yep.
is there something that you've learned by communicating with clients lately during the year, since you've done lots of like freelance, maybe like how to communicate um, by like the emails, or like, you know, if you have to deliver something late, like what do you do?
I think, and this is something going back to college as well. It's always important to communicate everything that you have in mind. Even though it might be a little bit intimidating, I think it's the best thing to do. Like, for example, when I was in college, I had some like classmates that they would be like, "Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to deliver this in time," and I'm like, "Did you talk to the professor?" They're like, "No, I'm scared," and I'm like, "Talk to them." They're like, "No," and I'm like, "Talk to them." And when they talk to them, they give them an extra day or two. And they're so happy and less anxious. So I think that's the same. Like, yeah, sure, some people can be a little bit impatient when it comes to client work, but that's like a mixed bag. Like, I think for the most part, most people can be very understanding, and that could like lead to a better and healthy like work relationship between the
Yeah,
client and yourself.
It's so important to ask because sometimes they will not have more time to give you. Like it's impossible.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, well, I'm gonna start with the other one. Like sometimes they do have more time to give you, which is great because,
Hmm.
like you say, oh, I know it was due on Friday, but is it possible to get the weekend to finish it and I can end it up on Monday morning first light? Sometimes it's gonna be like, we don't work during the weekend anyway, so instead of delivering on Friday, yeah, go ahead, deliver it on Monday. It's okay
Hmm.
because you asked. If you ask, maybe they're gonna say no because we have to send it to our editor on Friday. So then you ask and you know that you cannot deliver it later,
Yeah.
which is more respectful to them. And sometimes it's not out of malice or like out of being mean. Like your client is like, no, I want it now because I am the person hired you and I want it now. Sometimes it's a teamwork. So they have, you have a delivery to them, but maybe they have a delivery to someone else.
Hmm.
So if you ask and people are like, no, I really need it by Friday, now the choice becomes to you. You have to take care of that situation. So are you gonna pull 3 all-nighters to finish it? Are you gonna maybe or are you gonna like maybe lower and start to cut corners in some places to make it deliverable? Because then you don't have a choice but to deliver it. So that's when then you have to guess, am I gonna make it, like where am I gonna cut corners? So we just want to say, both of us, I think, that
Hmm.
sometimes the place you want to cut is not always your sleep hours. There's other things you can do. Maybe call friends for
Yeah.
help and whatnot. I know I've helped up a couple of people to finish projects that they were over due and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah, me too.
yeah. I mean, yeah, we did it together too on other projects, and um, yeah, always great to help around. And if you help someone, maybe they're gonna help you back. So everybody
Yep.
wins. That animation is looking great.
Yeah.
um,
Thank you.
right. Oh, and I know you've used a little bit of Storyboard Pro too. Is there some features that you liked from Harmony that you were able to find into Storyboard Pro too? Because I know you're not an expert in Storyboard Pro at all, but I do know that you used it enough to find your way around it. And yeah, was there some things that were easy to kind of bridge over to the other software?
I think the biggest thing between Harmony and Storyboard Pro is the drawing engine. It works so seamlessly. It's so nice. Um, and I like that when I'm using Storyboard Pro, it's like a different environment kind of deal. It's like, okay, I'm gonna do boards because normally when I'm boarding, I kind of like go a little bit overboard and I overboarded sometimes. But
Yeah.
Storyboard Pro, it makes it easier for me to like stop myself and be able to make a proper board.
It's funny
So
because
that's
it's actually thought like the software is actually thought for that. Like it Harmony, it's so easy to just go into straight ahead animation, but Storyboard Pro prevents you from it. But it's thought that way. Like it's not because it's
uh-huh.
lacking feature. They want to make it so that it's better to tell a story rather than animate it. So it's very funny that you
Exactly.
mention it.
And that's one of the things. I think for me, my favorite feature, and I've been very vocal about it in the past, but my favorite Storyboard Pro feature is that you're able to make files, like Harmony files, directly from the
Oh,
Pro.
you're
So
right. That's amazing. Tell us more
yeah,
about it.
oh my god, it's like it's amazing. It's like you put the sequence in the panels, you like divide them with the timing and the voices and the layout and everything, right? And then when you're done with that and it's approved, you just go to File, Export, Harmony Files, and voila, you get like in maybe depending on the computer, But for me, it's maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You get like each each part that you cut with the audio, with the visuals, with a camera node and a peg, and it's like seamless. It's so fun, and it's like you don't have to like import in Harmony anymore. I mean, you can if you're doing something else, but it makes it like it cuts the time of you importing something in Harmony and adding the layers and adding the visuals and adding the sound. It's like seamless. It's for me, it's magic. It's like software magic. It's so good. I love it. It I got too hyped with that
No,
feature.
that's okay. That's totally fair. And you do, yeah, we do a lot of side contracts. So what makes you happy about side contracts, and why would someone maybe try to get some? Because sometimes it is more work. So if you're somebody who tends to be overworked easily, please refrain. But some people
Yeah.
might have a bit of time on their hand. What makes you, what interests you in finding side contracts aside from the extra money, of course?
I think what I like the most about side contract is the freedom to experiment a little bit more, because normally it's either somebody contacts you because of the way you draw, or sometimes it's like do whatever you like, I just like how you draw kind of deal, right? So it can be a mixed bag, but it's really fun because normally when you're doing like studio job, you're like tangled with a specific art direction. You have to follow and respect that faithfully. But with like freelance and other stuff like that, like like more into a client work kind of situation, there's a little bit more freedom, and I like that because it gives you leeway to like have fun and get to meet new people that probably you can work in the future. Like I like that.
Oh, that is a super fair point. You're right. The animation is so small. Sometimes you're gonna work with people and you're gonna see them like 2 years later on another production. So it's really
Hmm.
cool. um, do you have a favorite brush in Harmony and or Storyboard Pro? Because they're the same.
I like I do like Solid Brush 4, but there's another one over here that I like a lot, which
Is
is
it pipe cleaner? It's always pipe cleaner or charcoal.
I like Pipe Cleaner, but no, it's one of the
Yeah,
new ones.
pipe cleaner team.
It's oh my god.
I
I do
heard a
like the
rooster.
crayons a lot. Yeah, there's a rooster around here. I like the I do love the ballpoint because it kind of like mimics the Bic. I think it's called the Bic
Yeah, big
ballpoint pen.
pens. Yeah.
Yeah, I love them so much. It's so fun. Um, I do love a lot like the crayons, and obviously the pipe cleaner is one of my favorites. But I might sound a little bit. You might find it funny, but I do like to sketch a lot with the pencil too.
You madman.
Yes,
Okay, but
pencil.
why do you like to sketch with the pencil?
I just like to be a little bit more. Look at me, crazy with the
I mean, you are very good at it, not gonna lie.
pencil.
Is it because you like to change the size of the lines after you drew them?
Yeah, it's the brush has all of those tools too. But I'm a very big fan of using the like the anchor point kind of stuff with the contour editor. Like I like to edit the line immediately, and be able to like manipulate the line and make sure that it's all working correctly.
Did you
Um,
ever use the
so-
center line editor?
yeah, that's for the brush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also makes you happy. It makes me happy.
Yep.
Oh, but
Yep.
it's nice. I mean, drawing with the pencil is fun. I don't hate it either.
Hmm. Yeah. There it
Oh yeah, that's
is.
so great. When they added that to Harmony, my brain exploded. It's
Oh
so
my
good.
god, I still don't know how it works, but it makes me so happy because that means that if there's a possibility that I have something to do with a brush only tool, I'm gonna be able to like use my normal workflow with the
I had
pencil
to
with
clean up with the
center line.
brush for a project recently, and that really helped.
Mm-hmm.
So
It does help. Oh my god, it's so useful.
yeah.
I love it.
And I do know that sometimes people are going to think about cutout animation and hand drawn animation as two separate things. Mainly because, if you use other softwares, there's softwares for hand drawn animation and there's softwares for only puppet animation. But we both know that with Harmony, you can do both in the same software.
Hmm.
So, is there some ways in your hand drawn animation that rigging comes in handy?
I would say, um,
Not like rigging, but like if you make a
yeah,
show that is mostly hand drawn, is there some ways that you can use kind of the more cutout native feature to help around?
yeah, like when I was doing the acceptance speech, we didn't knew we
Oh,
were
you're
gonna win, but
right.
I was yeah, but I was like, nope, I'm still gonna animate it because why not? Um, I kind of like did a hybrid cutout thing with that, and it was really fun. I was able to like get a drawing and manipulate it and use like cutout techniques. So
Mm-hmm.
it was like, let me draw it. So we had the character here, right? So we had the character drawn. Since the face was always gonna be very like similar and always like looking forward, talking to the audience, I would just use the cutter tool to animate the eyes, so I don't have to like draw the eyes all the time. And the hair was always going to be like that, but the down part, I added like some kind of like deformer kind of deal. So
Oh,
every time
that's
I would
smart.
move it, yeah, every time I would move it, I just needed to do that and not redraw everything.
So to speed up your
Um,
cleanup of your hand-drawn animation, you had some rigs here and there. That's very smart.
exactly. Yeah, like I think the only thing that I did completely hand drawn was the lip sync. Everything else was like some kind of hybrid cutout thing, which is really cool because like I showed it to my coworkers and they were like, "Whoa, how do you do that?" I'm like,
So
"Okay, well,
fast. Pew, pew,
yeah,
pew.
like I did like I think it was like 20 seconds in 3 days. It was insane. That was like finished animation. I was really proud of it. But yeah, like I think the greatest thing about Harmony is the hybrid nature of it. Like you mentioned, you can do compositing, you can do hand drawn, you can do cutout, you can do a lot of stuff. Um, that's what makes it like so special for me because not it doesn't matter what project I'm working on, right? I don't have to switch. I can do it everything here, you know? I even illustrate here. So
That's
I
true.
that's why I love Harmony so much.
And the last question I have for you
Yes.
is not so much about like harmony and animation directly, but sometimes, because artists, sometimes we feel we're very sensible people, and sometimes it just doesn't work. You try to animate, you try to draw, and it just doesn't work. Um, so yeah, what do you do when this happens?
Yeah, normally if it is for a deadline, I try to give
Yeah,
it a
let's say
little bit
you
more.
do have a
Yeah.
deadline to meet, like maybe in 2 days or something, like, but it doesn't
Mhm.
work. What would you do?
Normally I take a breather. Maybe I do breathing
Take a good
exercises because
break.
sometimes you get anxious, and sometimes when you get anxious, your mind gets clouded, and that like takes you out of it. So sometimes I do a little bit of a breathing exercise. Maybe I stretch. Maybe I take a little walk. Sometimes even talking to a coworker and asking them what they think of how the work is going so far, it'll like help you like polish some of your thoughts because sometimes you get stuck and it's because you're always like thinking on yourself. So sometimes maybe you can ask a higher up or a coworker and sit down and discuss, and you can work with that. Um, for some people, including me, a little
Mm-hmm.
walk, a little exercise, drinking water, hearing your favorite song,
Eating
watching your favorite
vegetables.
video, eating vegetables, eating your piragua. Um, you could do watch a movie, play a game, just do something to take away a little bit, like look away for a second, and once you're refreshed, you're gonna be able to like nail it immediately. It's like a game,
It is.
like sometimes you're fighting something in
It's like
in a
fighting a
game.
boss.
Exactly, you get frustrated because you're not able to beat it, but then you put the controller down, you take a break, maybe watch Facebook, maybe watch YouTube, maybe
Or
talk
TikTok.
with a friend, maybe watch a movie, and then when you come back and you're refreshed, you're gonna beat it like 10 times better than what you were doing a couple minutes
And
before
that's
that.
nice because everyone we've had to question so far said the same thing. Like nobody just said, sit there and keep working. It's gonna work out.
No, no, no,
No,
no,
it's
no.
not. Take a break. Stop.
Yeah.
Go away. Run away. And and in the same vibe of idea, I know, especially with like the whole pandemic and the whole work from home situation, I know a lot of us artists, and I mean everybody else, but especially artists, we found ourselves like, instead of being in a studio full of other um, um, artists, like we were alone. So that made it really hard. So is there something that helped you, like, like a community or something that we could share or link?
Oh, like, um, oh, definitely. Like, I think Discord has been a main player for this kind of stuff. When I started the pandemic, I was in my house, and it was like all me and four walls all day, every day. And sometimes the only interaction I would have was meetings at work. But then I decided to reconnect myself in Discord because I used to have Discord, but I didn't use it as much. And I felt that it was a perfect opportunity. And I hopped in different art servers, animation servers, and I got to meet really wonderful people. And that's how I got to meet you. And then
That is
you
true.
decided, that's how
Small
you
world.
decided to create your own server, which is the Chinani Gang server, the Seabird Brain server. um I think your server is amazing because people get to like share their experiences. They share art. They are so happy. Everybody is giving feedback when they can. It's so fun. It's like such a nice, it's like such a nicely knitted community that I'm really proud to be, around and helping when I can.
Yeah,
So
your
it's
help
really
is
whole.
super appreciated on the server and on this video today. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I love it's my pleasure to help.
So I guess we're gonna share that in the chat, and we're also we can also share Discord. Discord. Toon Room also has its own Discord server that we can also share later. So
Hmm.
if you're an artist and you're a bit more on the alone side and you would like to talk to more people, don't be afraid. The industry is full of wonderful people, and yeah, a lot of them just want to help out and hang out.
Yeah.
Like we're all in the same boat. And yeah, again, thank you so much for coming over, Renee. Do you have anything else you would like to add? Maybe something I forgot to ask, or little last minute ideas you have? Any last message?
I think I would say, and I will translate it in English as well.
Oh yeah, you can
First
say
of
something
all,
in Spanish.
que yeah, que viva la animación. For all my Spanish people, um, don't worry. Sometimes it can be a little bit hard in our industry because we're growing, but we're gonna do great, and we're gonna keep growing and helping each other. And that applies for everybody in the industry as well. Like this is a universal thing. I think the most special thing about animation, right? It's the community and how everybody's helping each other, and the constant positiveness that everybody's like sharing. And I think that's something that not many places you get to experience that much. Like I feel the feeling of community and friendship that you can gain being an artist, an animator, and everything in between. It's something special that we need to protect as well.
It
So
is.
yeah.
And thank you so much for sharing all that. And speaking of Spanish content, I think you do have some plans for the Spanish speaking animation community. So if you guys are from the Spanish speaking animation community, I strongly advise that you go follow Renee over on Twitter
Hmm.
and stuff. We're gonna share the credentials in the chat. But like, yeah, he's got some pretty cool projects coming over for Spanish
Yep, yep, yep.
speaking industry. And
That's true.
so
I'm
I can
looking forward to share it to everybody.
I'll let you do a final words in Spanish to your or our Spanish audience, and after that,
Oh,
we'll wrap it up.
alrighty. Muchas gracias a todos por asistir. Espero que tengan un excelente día y excelente Animation Trends Event. Se me cuidan un montón y espero que aprendan un montón con Harmony, Storyboard Pro y con todo lo que tenga que ver con la animación. Se me cuidan. Mucho, mucho cariño.
And thank you so much. I hope everybody enjoys the next sessions. Don't forget to tune in for the next couple of interviews and courses that we're going to give at the ATE 2022. But yeah, thank you so much for coming over, Renee. Thank you so much for coming over, everyone. And I wish you an amazing day. Bye.
You!
Woo!